Hello, mate. We're going to be talking about UV filtration.
I've been pointed to a few videos, but one of recent publication. I won't mention the video, and I actually think the guy that makes the videos is a neat chap. He's dead wrong on a lot of issues, but I've been asked this question long before this video was posted. But I was asked by several people about the premises in this video about using UV filtration. And it's not about UV filtration, it's about prophylaxis. It's about protecting your front element, especially on more expensive lenses. But I'm going to go down a list of errors in this and other videos about people stating that you should not use UV filters or protective filters on the front of your glass, and I'm going to point out where they're just flat out dead wrong. I mean, sometimes to the point where when I heard them say that, my sphincter puckered so tight and I went, ah! God, that's wrong! I made a list of some points that other videos made and this particular video made, and I'm going to point out to you in a logical fashion, despite my humorous nature, why the statements in the video are just flat out wrong! And one of the first things is that partially through the video we're talking about people that use screen protectors on their phone, Samsung or iPhone. It's like, well, that's not the lens, this person states. So I'm not using any protective filter on the camera lens on your iPhone or your Samsung or what have you, and he's saying, well, he's using that as a basis for saying why he doesn't believe, he thinks that using filters on the front of your. By the way, his video, which was just posted, has a lot of high objection to his belief that you shouldn't use UV filtration, but I'm going to very respectfully disagree, and I'm going to go down the list of points why this video and others like it are just dead wrong. Now, making an analogy between an iPhone or a Samsung lens, saying, well, nobody has protective filters on that to your lens. Well, my answer to that is, ah! And the reason, the reason for that is,
This, mate, is sapphire. Sapphire is next hardness to diamond. Okay? This lens here, it be tougher than woodpecker lips.
This lens is glass. Not talking about just the filter, but I'm talking about the front element of this lens if the filter was glass.
Sapphire, mate. Tougher than woodpecker lips.
Glass. Very soft.
Sapphire. I don't know if you know how tough sapphire is, mate, but it's bloody tough. Tougher than woodpecker lips.
So this is what we call in logic class
a false analogy. A false analogy.
Now, this video and many others like it state that it is true that UV filtration, whether it's there or not, it's only applicable to film cameras. So UV filtration has nothing to do with anything affecting or helping your digital SLR cameras. Well, that's obvious, but it's not about the fact that this is a UV filter, okay? I didn't put this UV filter on the front of this 80-200 because it is a UV filter. I put this UV filter on there because it is an anti-reflect. You see that green tint on the lens. Sometimes it's purple or blue. Depends on the crystalline. It's vacuum deposited crystalline coating. I put this filter on there because it's an AR-coated prophylaxis. Now, what's a prophylaxis? Well, it sounds kind of close to this, which is prophylactic. Yes, a condom. It is protection, mate. It's protection. Okay. See, now, yes, the UV filter is useless for digital cameras, but it's not about the UV pass filter, but about the AR coating protection. Now, he does, and other people have validly mentioned that the purchase of clear filters or skylights like this is just clear glass, okay? Never buy these, mate. Never. And my use of an Australian accent is no derogatory comment against Australians, okay? I love Australians. Some of my best buds are from Australia. I might be butchering the Australian accent, but don't accuse me of picking on Australians, okay? Don't do it. I love Australia, okay? Okay? So yes, you never want to buy something. Now this one's a UV, but it has no coating. It's just clear glass. Yes, this is crap. I got this in a junk bin along with a bunch of other. I would never buy one of these, and neither should you. This is a hindrance. And at this point, him and other people are correct. You would never want to use this because it adds nothing. It could actually cause a flare and vignetting issues because it has no air coating. It's also dropping the amount of light that is reaching, that's passing through the lens and reaching your so you never buy one of these, or just a UV or a skylight with no coating. This one has a multi-layered anti-reflective coating on the filter. You may not be able to see it, but it's there. You see the purplish sort of hinge reflection from the softbox, right? That's the anti-reflective coating. So, yes, skylights and clear glass should always be avoided. Those are a waste of money. Now, as far as his point or other points that, that filters can get stuck on lenses, this is absolutely true. I've worked in 3 large camera stores. One was a huge store, and people would put a lens on there dry, and a piece of sweat or raindrop or whatever would cause a rust spot, and that sucker, because someone tries to take it off after 20 years or the filter gets broken, it's like, oh, I can't get it. I've already made several videos. You just put a tiny bit, a tiny smear of non-migrating grease on the filter threads. Okay, it will not migrate to your lens, and that will make you always be able to get the filter. So that supposed issue is not an issue. Now, another point that some other people make, and this video makes, is say, well, UV filter is thin and flimsy, and your front element is thick. Well, this is fallacious logic and reasoning. While this is true, these filters are thin, a lot easier to damage than most front elements, but that's ridiculous. I mean, that is exactly like saying this tiny piece of, and these are damn thin. You know that, right? You know that, right? Right. These are very, very thin and flimsy. But you aren't, excuse me for being crude here, I'll try to make it as PG as possible. You aren't rolling these on your wang, okay? because it's going to, someone, you're hanging out in the open, okay, on your front porch with one of these on your wang, and some punk kid comes by and goes, ha ha, and throws a rock at your wang. Obviously, you're going to get hurt. You aren't using this thin little piece of material, and they try to make them thinner and thinner every year, okay? You're not putting this on your wang. You're using it for protection. STDs and other reasons, okay? This is what I call a perfect analogy. Now, this other person and other people say, well, this is really thin and your front element is thick. It's easy to break one. Look, I don't know if there's other person or other people who worked in large camera stores, but I have, mate. And I've seen a lot of expensive lenses protected by a front element. Never buy an uncoated lens like this, filter like this, okay? It needs to be coated, multi-coated, like Hoya, HMC. I don't care what your favorite is. Just make sure it's multi-coated. Now, he is correct in stating that lens hood is going to provide maximum protection for peripheral incoming objects, whatnot, so forth. But it's not going to protect from incoming, it's not going to protect from salty spray, which will affect your coating. Now, he actually states that you can clean your front element the same as you clean your lens, but any expert in lenses, and they will all agree on this, all of them, including Nikon, Canon, Zeiss, everybody will tell you this. You want to clean, just like your sensor, you want to clean it as little as possible. And with this on the front of your lens, mate, you're cleaning your filter, not your front element. Excessive cleaning. Now, when I buy used lenses that are 30 years old, if you got 2 lenses that are 30 years old, for example, and they've both been used just as much in the same conditions, you can immediately tell from all the way across the room which lens had the front element protection on it and which one didn't. You always can. Now, someone could have put no protection on the front of a lens and then put it away for 30 years, but that's not an analogy. And that's just a lens that was bought and put away and never used. So that is incorrect. You do not want to be cleaning your front element. Okay, it is fragile. The very best Zeiss, I don't give a damn how expensive the lens is, okay? You want to be cleaning it as little as possible. So that's the secondary reason why you want an anti-reflective coating protective element, especially on some of your more expensive. I've got a hair over 100 lenses, and more or less, I've got front element protection on about half of them, okay? About half. But that's just me because I got a crap load of lenses. But I have seen a lot of lenses protected, saved from being destroyed. Now, just because this filtration is thin and it's easy to break versus a front element means nothing. Whatever will break your filter, if it wasn't there, it will take a chip out and ruin the finish on the front of your element. It's like, well, this person's statement is that, well, these are really, really easy to break. That's not the point. These are really easy to break too. That's not why you're using them. You're not using the same reason you're using this, depending on whether you're a guy or a girl, or well, actually, it would be the case of both. The reason why you're using it is not because it's thin and easy to break. You're using it for protection. Whatever will break this, and he is correct in stating that, these are thin and they're easy to break. Okay, will keep you from destroying. Okay, not necessarily destroying, but chipping. I've seen a lot of people that never use filter. I don't like filter, I don't like filter. And they've got chips, they got hunks missing out of the front of their lens. Not only does that cause picture image issues, but it makes the resale value of the lens horrible, mate. It's like, your lens has got some hunks of glass missing out of the front of it. I don't want to buy it. Okay? Now I've seen this person and other people, you know, I see what their position is, but their position is invalid. I've seen countless thousands of more lenses used pass through my hands than all of the rest of the... You know, you could hate me, whatever you want, I don't care, but I've had a lot more lenses pass through my fingers, all of them combined times 10. And I've seen a lot of lenses saved by front element protection is. Now the real question is the AR coating UV filter a hindrance? No! It is very useful in keeping water spots and acidic spray from ruining your front element. Obviously you can clean your filter, you can clean your front element, but you do not want to be cleaning your front element. You want to clean it as little as possible, like when I get a used lens. I'll clean it really good because it's probably dusty and never had a filter on it. I'll clean it nice and spotless, and I'll either keep it that way or I'll stick a filter on it. Depends on how valuable the lens is or how much real estate that, this is a huge 77mm front element. This is not hindering my images, especially if I additionally use a lens hood. It's protecting it. It means that I'm never going to have to clean that front element, basically. A good lens hood is recommended most of the time. It blocks peripheral front element damage. This is true. This is accurate. But this is not an argument for not using filter protection. Like I said, never buy clear filters, like never. Okay? Now the two major fallacies of this video is comparing a camera lens to the camera lens on your iPhone or your Samsung. Sapphire, mate. Sapphire. That's glass. Glass is soft. Have you ever seen somebody tried? There's YouTube videos. I'll link it if you want. People are sitting there with rocks trying to scratch the piss out of a camera lens. They still can't scratch it. It's sapphire, mate. So you can't compare the fact that nobody has protection on their iPhone or Samsung lens to a camera. That's glass, mate. That's glass. Glass, sapphire. Glass, sapphire. Glass, sapphire. False analogy. Now saying a lens is flimsy like this is the same thing as saying this is flimsy. You know, this is a lot flimsier than a filter. Oh, look, both of these are easy to break. They're both flimsy. Yes, but why are you using this one? The same reason you should use this one. Okay? I hope I made that clear. Thank you for watching so much, and I will catch you on the next video. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Oh my God. Thank you for watching.